And our guest on the Change Exchange, Jack Parow. I won't let anyone know what your real name is.
Asseblief. Secret.
Secret.
But thanks for having me. I'm really glad to be here. So,
well, this is about...
It's an honor.
So glad. This is about the change moments in your life. What did you want to be when you were a little boy?
I think I started obviously wanting to be probably like Superman or Flash or something like that. Then I got really into like comics and stuff. I'm still very much into comics, so I wanted to but then I thought like in South Africa, how can you there wasn't really any comics. I wanted to be an architect, just something like with like creative and drawing and stuff. And then I ended up actually not becoming any of those things.
How did that happen? I mean, what was the...
Then I worked at Ekke as a mechanic, and I did horrible jobs when I was younger. I actually did some of them. I shot a new music video that actually just launched, but it's called OTU, where I do some of those jobs. Like I worked at a fish factory, which I hated so much that I stopped eating seafood. I don't eat seafood at all because it was so horrible. Everything you touch, you don't even have to touch a fish. If you walk into there, you smell like fish straight away. It's horrible.
But why did you do that?
Just
simply because you had to earn money?
Yeah, just had to earn money, and that was my first job. And then I did I worked in the cemeteries division of the Cape Metropolitan Council, giving people graves and stuff. Then I appeared as a mechanic for a while, which was pretty fun. And then,
are you into cars?
Yeah, I dig cars. I like old cars, like older cars, like 60s, 70s cars. Then I studied multimedia design, and then I worked as a graphic designer and stuff for a while, and kind of got into that kind of thing, which was really fun. Obviously, just the creativeness about it, and I really enjoyed it a lot, and kind of being around creative people and meeting creative people, it like inspired me a lot.
And the rapping, where did that come from?
Then I've always been writing rap music since I was young. I was into it. Like when I was say about 12 or so, I kind of started listening to my own music, and my mom bought me stuff for Christmas. I can remember the like in Monster Eats, like a mix of all the different ones, and then there was a song by Snoop Dogg on there called What's My Name, and then from there on out I was like into rap music. It was like the only thing I wanted to listen to. I listened to nothing else. I literally only discovered like Bob Dylan and Eric Clapton, all the the legendary stuff when I was like 23, because I did not want to listen to anything but rap music. That was all I listened to since I was like 12 till I listened to I listened to cool stuff like David Kramer that I kind of got from my mom and stuff, and some stuff from my sister, but 99% only rap music. So that's how I got into it.
Did you act with it? Did you stand around with it?
And Snoop Dogg is some incredibly dirty songs. And then my mom would sit at and I'll be like 13 or 14, and my mom would be like, "Kom rap vir die mense, kom rap gou vir die mense." And then it'd be like the most disgusting lyrics. And then my mom would be like, and everyone would laugh, and it's so hilarious. I like this little child rapping, incredibly dirty lyrics. I can't believe actually. That's my mom. She's crazy.
So when did you switch to Afrikaans, and why?
So obviously when you start, you rap in English kind of too, because that's what you hear.
That's what you hear.
And so on. So I did that, and then I started rapping with a lot of guys from Mitchell's Plain.
Yeah, how did you come across them? Because this is 20 years ago. I mean, there wasn't much mixing.
I don't know, my parents, I was mixing. I've always been mixing. I'm my friends at school, some of the guys that I was hanging out with were the colored and the black kids at school as well. Obviously, predominantly also because I was listening to rap music, and they were the only people that were also listening to the same music as I was. And my parents weren't really like that. My friends are very open-minded, and they weren't like anything weird or stuff. And then so that was how I grew up. So then when after school, obviously in school I just wrote, and I unfortunately had to go to school forced by my mom to do horrible things like that.
It happens to all of us.
And then after school I came to live. My sister lived in Cape Town, so I came here and I lived with her in her flat. And then I started meeting all kinds of people, because I worked, as I said, at the graveyard, at that place, the Cape Metropolitan Council, and kind of met people there, and kind of started meeting people all around. And then at City Varsity studying, met some more. And then I joined this crew with two friends, the guys that I met, Anthony and Dennis, the first rap crew I was part of, called Family, but Family without an I, because there's no I in family, horrible.
And what was it like the first time you stood on a stage and you actually had an audience?
Yeah, it's crazy, it's nerve-wracking. I think I was lucky enough that the first time I stood on the stage, I had an audience of probably about 2, and then there was 4, and then there was 10, and then there was 100, and then it kind of built up like that. Because I think it's a nerve-wracking experience if you have to go. Like, because obviously the music scene wasn't that big then. Like my chummies, like Frans and them, they did Volkspolisie Car, and that was kind of like rock was really the happening thing. And I was like their friend who did this weird rap stuff. And then, yeah, so that's kind of how it happened. So then I started rapping with all these guys in Mitchell's Plain and stuff, and etc., etc. And then they wanted to do this one song. We wanted to do a song called Hard-Headed Hobo, where they are like hobos and I'm like the boer. And I said, well, I can't rap in English if I'm a boer, I have to be Afrikaans. So I wrote, and it was so much fun, and I got so into it, and it was so quick, and it was just like, I really loved it that I ended up completely switching to Afrikaans. And
was there a hard-headed business decision behind it, that the Afrikaans market for South African? No, you didn't see it like that.
I mean, then I was still playing to like 5 people. So it was never like, I never, ever in my wildest dreams thought that I would become a rapper one day and make music for a living. It was literally like just because I enjoyed it, doing it a lot. And I think that was the cool thing about it, and that's why I came where I am. I think in a way how I got where I am, it's because I never concentrated on making hits or trying to make music that people will like. I literally just made music for myself that I enjoyed and I liked doing. And it never was, I mean, at a stage, I'm dirty now, but I was extremely dirty back in the day. I had the most foulest mouth. And then that, I mean, no one wanted to listen to that, but I liked it, so I just kept doing it. And then it kind of like evolved to where I am now, yeah.
Was there a moment when you thought, I could actually earn a living out of this?
I think it was a crazy like thing, because I did it for so long for like nothing, and then all of it, and then my friends from here was fantastic. I did that Cooler as Ekke song, and I played it to them, and they were like, "Oh, this is so cool, we must record it," and we recorded it. And then my other friend Divan, who's like, it's obviously all our Belleville people like kind of helping each other out and shot a music video for it. We just got all my friends and we kind of shot this thing and then put it on the internet. We were like, we hope like 1,000 people see it or something. And then it just like completely exploded and went crazy. I think it's like on almost 3 million hits now. I mean, for Afrikaans songs. So that was obviously then I started getting like people wanting to book me for shows and people wanting to, and that's kind of, so it went from, it was 0 for very long and then to like 100 for since, well, when it came. So it was never like a thing where, oh my God, I think it's going to happen now. It just happened. It was like quite a crazy
And
thing.
what was that experience? I mean, that from working, allocating graves, you were now doing the one thing you really love.
It was fun going to work and telling them I'm going to stop working, I'm going to be a rapper, an Afrikaans rapper. They thought I was crazy. That was like probably my favorite thing I've ever done in my life. So that was cool. And then it was crazy. I mean, I hadn't even been on a plane, just all like happened, and it was the coolest thing. And I got to see like South Africa, a place that I've never seen. Like I was just like this side of the world. And it's still to me my favorite. I get to go, like obviously I've been to many cool places, but like this country's so cool. I love it. Like going to like the weirdest little towns where there's like the weirdest people and get to meet like the craziest people, yeah.
What do you do when you're in a town for a few days? Do you hang out in the bar late at night and chat to the locals and pick up more songs for tomorrow?
I think I've got a problem that I hang out in the bar too long the first night. So if I'm there for a few days, the next 2 or 3 days will just be spent in the hotel room hiding. The one unlucky thing is obviously it's very much an in and out thing always. So it's always I get there, I play, party the night, go, next day to the next place. So, but then obviously the more you then start playing there, now I've been doing it for 5 years, so everywhere I go, I've been there before and I've built up friends and it's really fun. So it's always like cool going there because then I'm like, oh, I'm going to see them again or we're going to hang out again. So it becomes like pretty rad.
People you worked with made a real difference in your life. For a young musician starting out, how important is that to choose the people you connect?
I think it's very important. It also like categorizes you very easily into a certain category. So if you're doing music with, like say like someone from the alternative side, then that's kind of where you're heading to. Or if you're going to do something with like whatever Kurt Darren or that type of stuff, then that's the kind of market you're appealing to. Because people obviously will listen to people like say they if someone does a song with me, then they will listen. The people that listen to me will obviously listen to that song. So that's how you get categorized. So it's very important to kind of like have a structured plan for yourself to where you want to be heading at the end. So you can like kind of build that road in that direction instead of having too many directions. Yeah.
And did you have that? You had
Yeah,
a
I think I was
picture in your
lucky
head
enough.
of where you wanted to be.
As well, not, I think, because I'm very loose-headed. I used to be very loose.
Looskop,
Yeah,
as
very
you've
looskop. And so I was just lucky enough because I come from Belvin. I came from that whole, like, I was friends with, like, everyone from Fokke Polisiekar, Ekke, he was fantastic, etc., like, Foot in Our Dance. And those were, like, the guys I automatically, like, fell into that group because those were my friends. So that's, luckily I was friends with them and not with any of those other Afrikaans artists.
But you're working with Valiant Sweat now, I see.
Yeah.
Isn't he much more
No,
in the middle of the road?
I think he's I mean, Valiant and...
He's prettier.
Yeah.
Sorry to say.
He is very pretty, yeah. No, I think it's like him, David Kramer, Koos Kombuis, those people, they like kind of the struggle music. And I mean, you can't compare, I think Valiant Sweat will fall over if someone compares him to someone like whatever Snotkop or anything like that. Not to say, I mean, it's just not my vibe. So I mean, it's each to their own. But for me, it's not really the direction I want to go. That's why I don't do music. I've been asked many times to do music with some of those artists, but I don't. I just think it's I've got my way that I move.
And now Wynand Meiburg is your manager. How did that come about?
I begged him for many, many years, and then I finally got famous enough that he said, okay, cool, you'll manage me. He's the best. Like, I've been trying to, he's really like an amazing, amazing manager, and he's just like, it's an honor to have him work to be able to have him manage me, because it's also cool because we have an office together, everything that's happening. Because I used to have a management agency, which was very cool, but it was based in Joburg, and I'm based in Cape Town. So it was always a thing, like it always took much longer. Now, if I want to do something, I decided now, I go back to the office and then we jump on it. Where I might phone, they won't pick up, then I forget. It's like that kind of thing. So it's really cool to have someone that we are every day in the same place together. And he's also obviously comes from the music world, and he comes from he's played every single venue in the country. He's built a band from the same as me from the ground up, and it's an honor to be able to have him manage me, and it's an honor to kind of have someone like that around, and someone who is very business orientated but also creative at the same time, which is rare to find. Yeah.
You know, but what strikes me is that I think many people think that musicians, and especially alternative kind of musicians, just have this mad life, and you just go from one place to the other and you go mad. And in some way you earn a living kind of on the side. Yeah. But it's a business. You have an office. There is someone who manages it. It's
actually the hardest business, the hardest job I've ever had. Like compared to like a normal 9 to 5, my job like literally never stops. It like never ever stops. The shows are obviously amazingly fun always, but then if you think about that, then in the morning I have to get up at 6, I have to be at the airport, then I got to catch a flight to Joburg, then I get to Joburg, then I'm traveling in a car, get to the venue, sound check, then I go grab something to eat, shower quickly, back, then I have to go to play the show, then I have to do autographs till like sometimes to 2, 3 in the morning. I leave, then I have to get up at 6 again, catch a flight, etc., etc. So it's like it's very tiring. And then when I get home on Sunday, then I've worked the whole weekend, and I get home on Sunday, then I get home, obviously watch like Carte Blanche and stuff, and like cool things like that, and then I have to get up on Monday and go 8 o'clock, be at the office and work every day again. So I don't really get much time off. But I'm not complaining at all. Yeah. It's the coolest job. I love it. It's just like really tiring. I think I understand why I'm luckily I only drink a lot and don't do anything else. So that's kind of saved me. I think that I haven't burnt out yet, because I can understand why a lot of people burn out. I've even started smoking cigarettes. I'm just like becoming super healthy. I don't know why. I'm joking.
But it's also the other thing is you lose your privacy.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Ach ja, it is.
But you have to almost run 2 personalities side by side. There's the private you, with a different name and a family, etc. And then there's the public you.
luckily my public persona and my real life persona aren't really that much different. So it's not that easy. It's not that difficult. It's just like for me, it's just the stuff that I allow, like I want, like that I put out into the world. That's the type of stuff I put out into the world, and the rest of it is my own stuff. Yeah.
But you can never say to someone, "Don't bother me now."
Yeah,
they pay your salary.
Yeah.
So
yeah, but and it's also like it's cool. Sometimes it's heavy. Like I just want to like move. And get if I'm like light or if that and then you have to stop and take photos and stuff. But it's cool. It's obviously like that means that I'm doing something right. If everyone's still asking me for photos and stuff, that means that people still like me. And at the end of the day, the fans are the most important. And I know that's such a cliche thing to say, but it is the truth.
And what about the future? Can you see yourself building this into a permanent career?
Well, I mean, at the moment. I've been doing it for 5 years, like permanently. So I hope it is already kind of like a permanent career in a way. But I think music it's an intense job. Hopefully I can still do it for a few years, but I don't think my body will allow me to do it for much longer than that. So at the moment, like I feel like me and Valiant, my manager, and I've kind of built a cool little team at my office. Like I've got a social guy, and we've got a kind of a girl that handles pretty much everything. And so at the end of the day, I would like to build it up to a stage where we can obviously get other artists and build up other artists, because I think the music has changed immensely. Like where you used to be able to make good music and you could go out and people would hear it and they'd love it and they'd buy it and you'd make money. Like you didn't even have to tour. Like you put out like still not even long ago, like you could put out a CD and you could sell 40 to 100,000 in South Africa copies of it. But I mean that has dropped drastically, and I think the importance of creating a brand around yourself has become like more important almost than the music in some cases, which is obviously like pretty sad, but it is like that.
Talk to me about Paraphernalia.
Yeah, that's my label / everything I do. Just thought the name was funny, so I wanted to do something with it. So I created a company which is pretty much just handles everything. So my label, I put out my own albums. And yeah, that's pretty much what it does. Yeah. And it also makes it difficult for me to tell people what my label is, because I always have to spell it because it's such a difficult name. I didn't think about that before, and that was a bad move. Yeah, they can't even spell para. Most people spell it with 2 R's. So paraphernalia is pretty extreme. Yeah.
Sponsors. How does one build those relationships, and what are the pros and the cons?
Well, I mean, I think the cons are mostly just people are always like. People don't want to get bombarded by, because if I say I'm sponsored by Puma. So and they've been looking after me for really long. Before I even got famous or anything, they were my sponsor. So the thing is now, people don't want me to go and every week say, or every day say, I love Puma, buy Puma. So that's the thing. But from my side, they support me. I'm a musician from South Africa. I'm not like Jay-Z or anything, so I'm not making millions and millions and millions of rands. Like, so sponsors are very important for me to keep my career going. And people forget that. People don't think about it like that. People think you're whoring yourself out, or etc., etc., etc. But it's also always like when people tune me about that on, like, say I post some stuff on Facebook and stuff, and now and then someone will tune me here or there, and I just tell them that. I'm like, listen, like it's the only way for me to keep my brand going and to keep doing cool stuff. I need people to be involved in it, and that's the importance of it. Yeah.
But you have to
balance
maintain that balance,
yeah. So that you can, and also
that you don't bombard your audience.
Yeah. And also, like, it's become like where Facebook and stuff like that has become very smart about that stuff. So if they see you posting a lot of stuff about certain things, they cut you down, so your posts go out to much less people. So it's become like, even that side, social has become like where it used to be so cool, because I've got 170,000 people on Facebook. If I post something, it'll go to all 170,000. Now it goes to like 10% of that. So then you have to work out to kind of post. It's like all these like mechanics, which is very interesting, which I love. We're kind of like figuring it out and figuring how to go underneath that stuff. But it's really cool. It's so interesting. I love that. Yeah.
What's it like traveling in Europe and singing in Afrikaans and having a response from the audience?
Yeah, it's cool. I must say, it's
How did
crazy.
that happen?
I don't know. Once again, that's the amazing thing about something like the internet. It's like, say, if, like a few years, like not even that long ago, I would have to have gone. I would have to go to say like Holland. I'd have to go there. I'd have to play a show. Maybe there'll be like 20 people, and then those will tell, and then I'd have to build it up like that. When now I went the first time, like just thanks to like once again Cooler as Ekke, they blew up. It got like people saw it from all over the world. I mean, I went to Russia, and then there's like, and it was sold out. And I mean, how does that happen? So that's like the crazy things, and Holland as well. Like I've been touring there for like 5 years now, and it's always like packed, and the response is so good. So. And that's just all thanks to the wonders of the World Wide Webs. Yeah. And just from doing like, it's so crazy that Afrikaans kind of like just enthralled the world in a way. It's so cool. And it's like really rad because everyone says it's going to stop. So now I went to Holland again just now because I took off 2 years from international touring for like personal reasons. So then I started touring now again, and then I got this, like my previous booker said, no, they can't book a tour now, like Afrikaans is over. It was only around that time, like the World Cup and blah, 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 etc., etc. So I was like, fuck, I'm gonna do it myself. Like if you guys don't want to book me, then I'll get someone else. And I got this guy, and he booked me, and we played 8 shows, and we sold them all out. So I was like, boom, Afrikaans is definitely not over. And now I was there, and I got booked for 3 shows. I've been back 2 months. I'm going back again like next week. So it's just, I'm just happy to be able to, it's like for me it's like cool making music, and it's fun, and I get to travel, but it's also for me very important to like kind of show people how cool Afrikaans is, because I mean like there's idiots, like I'm not going to name names, but you guys know like musicians that are racist and horrible and like red fry, I don't even know the stuff that they do, like absolute joke musicians.
We will not go there today.
Yeah, I'm really proud of being like a kind of an ambassador for Afrikaans in the across the world, and like people that email me from all over, that actually like from Russia to Holland to Germany to America to etc., Canada I got last week. It's people that are learning Afrikaans to kind of learn so they can understand what I say. So
what will you say to people, and there are people who say that Afrikaans is a dying language?
I think to those people, people have said that to me, like in my face, and I said, well then I'll just, if they say it's dying, then they can like stop speaking it, and I'll take it, and then it's mine. So it's officially mine. I've decided. I'm the official king of Afrikaans, yeah.
Advice for youngsters who want to go into this music world?
The best advice I can give them always is like it's long and a hard road, and I think but people that kind of try and push it too soon, they won't make it, because it is like any job. It is a job like any art form rather. It is something that you learn. You can't just pick up a pen and be an amazing artist straight away. Same with music. You can't write a song and it must be the best song ever written already. And I think a lot of people don't know that. Like people like say the Beatles, they played in a little small bar for 10 years before they got big, and it's all of that. It's that, and I think if you can stick with it and you can push it and you keep to it, then once you blow up, it's totally worth it. Sometimes you don't. Luckily, sometimes you do. So it's a gamble, but it's fun.
But perhaps keep a day job.
Yeah.
While you're building it up.
True. Yes, that is very important. Just keep it for a while, and then you can also quit and say you're going to become a rapper, and they can laugh at you, and then you can laugh at them. That's the funnest thing. People that used to think I was crazy now ask me to like be in ads and shit. I'm like, yo, fuck you all. Don't worry, cool.
Thanks so much, and
cool.
all of the best.
Thank you for having me. It's really fun.